said, I work at WEkEO, which is one of the DSs. I will explain with my colleague Amine from CS what WEkEO is about and what is different about WEkEO in comparison with the other DSs that you will hear about. They're all great, and I encourage you to use them, any of the DSs. So WEkEO, the Copernicus DIA service, is implemented by EUMETSAT, ECMWF, and Mercator Ocean. This is the first difference from the other DSs, which are implemented by commercial entities in consortia or not. This one is implemented by these three agencies, and the way that is organized is by ITTs. So a few years ago, a bit more than 2 years ago, we started opening ITTs for the provision of the different subsystems and systems and the operations of these DIAs. And so there's a lot of industry involved, but at the operation and supervision level, there is EUMETSAT, ECMWF, and Mercator Ocean. So the definition of WEkEO, as we were saying, it is a data and information access service. And this means that you have all of the Copernicus data available, and this covers Copernicus services that I will talk about, as well as Copernicus information, so Sentinel data mainly, and others, also EUMETSAT data set. There's a lot of in the Copernicus ecosystem, different data sets. And then we have the virtual environment and tools that are made available as part of the DIAS offer as well. One very important pillar of WEkEO specifically is the user support. Amine, who will present afterwards, is part of this user support that is always available, that organizes webinars, trainings, that answers technical questions, that is helping on scientific issues and also on more first level issues, as you will see, and that is very important. So the way that this works, more or less, and I will try to be practical, is that users that are willing to build an application on or using Copernicus data from different sources find that having a virtual environment that sometimes is pre-built with specific tools for your type of application, even in a thematic way, yeah? Marine or atmospheric or land application, you can register in WEkEO and use our cloud resources that can be Jupyter notebooks, but can also be, and are mostly, virtual machines with CPUs and GPUs available that connect to this Copernicus data catalog. And the way to connect is via our harmonized data access in the case of WEkEO. You can find everything you need on the WEkEO offer in our wekeo.eu website that I will demo or I will show you afterwards. What it is important behind this offer, it is that it relies on a distributed infrastructure. So we don't use copies, we connect to the different data sources, and these data sources can be extended and are indeed extended. We connect to more providers. We now have, we have Sentinel 1, 2, 3, and 5P. We have the Copernicus Land, the CLMS. We have the European Environmental Agency. We have the CDS, so the Climate Change Service and the Atmospheric Service. We have Copernicus Marine. All of these are data sources, and we are connected to them through network. So the performance of the connection is optimal, and you don't need to make a copy. So even in places where unstable connections, this is a great environment to build your applications. These are the 6 important aspects of WEkEO, of the WEkEO offer. The data catalog, as I was saying, it is the original Copernicus and Sentinel datasets available hot off the press. So As soon as we have new acquisitions or data sets are released, you have access to them. The applications and communities, you will be asked when you join WEkEO whether you want to showcase your work and find like-minded users and clients, so you can now share your application with others if you're available to, or promote it so that others can see what you are doing and contact you if that is interesting for them. Also, the free trials. We offer free trials for all of the different modes of the service offer, and those can be extended. We have open free trials for COVID-related applications, but not only. You can ask for a free trial of a given size of a machine or pay-per-use, and try all of these offer for free at any time. Then the computational resources, which are these cloud resources that fit your needs. So it can be t-shirt sizes, which is a fixed price for a fixed size with specific conditions, or pay-per-use. And you can access all the data catalog through the harmonized data access from your computational resources. These unified APIs, what we are saying as the harmonized data access, is a unified way of accessing all these different data sets, and also the meeting with the experts, the support, which is technical and scientific, as I was saying. Actors and users. Mercator Ocean International, as the trusted entity for the Copernicus Marine Service, ECNWF, as responsible for the C3S and the CAMS services, and EUMETSAT, that you all know of, and that operates the Sentinel-5B, the upcoming Sentinel-6, is also involved in Sentinel-3, and so on, and has a great number of data sets available. The WEkEO commercial partners, these are the ones that build or that are still building, and there are more and more commercial partners coming along, actually, as we go by. These are the ones that put together the pieces of the WEkEO system as it is today. Some of them are doing testing, some of them developed APIs, some of them are operating the system. Actually, Thales is the main operator of the system. Cloudflare is the infrastructure provider that is also present in another DIAS, as you will see. This is a growing ecosystem of industry that is participating in WEkEO as providers. This platform is for all audiences. So we have users from institutional bodies. We have users from the private sector. We have users from academia and scientific research groups, and we have also civil society that are using the platform in different ways. The offer is divided in three, and the most interesting for 99% of the users, I guess, is the essential and the advanced offer. With the essential offer, which is the free offer, you just register and access the website. You have access to all of the Copernicus data in WEkEO, and you have access to unlimited user support, asking also technical and scientific questions. The advanced offer is devoted to those that are using virtual environments and tools. So if you require a virtual machine, mainly a virtual machine, because the Jupyter notebooks are open to the essential offer as well. And the federated offer is for those that want to join WEkEO as a new provider, and it's thought more of like large institutions or ground segments or big sources of new data, Copernicus data, or in the ecosystem of the Copernicus data that can join the network of WEkEO. An example of the advanced offer is Ocean Data Lab is a user, a French company, an SME, that has built an application that is making use of the free trial of the advanced plan for their Ocean Data Lab interface. And the data in the catalog that is available, as I said before, revolves around these ones: the Copernicus Marine Service, the Atmosphere and the Climate Change, the Sentinel-3, the Copernicus Land, and the Sentinel-1, 2, 3, and 5P from the sources. So the data processing and the tools. There is a list of tools available that we can talk about it later during the demo. And there is different also configurations for the data processing environment, as we will show in the demo. The data access service and the catalog is fully documented, and the API is very simple and easy to use. And as we will show later, we connect to the Sentinel Hub as well for the Sentinel data. As you know, we offer the virtual machines, and we have a specialized user environment. These also involve these thematic pre-configured virtual machines that are built with specific tools and that users can access. The virtual machine options are twofold. Here you have a very quick overview of the different characteristics of the t-shirt sizes, so the fixed sizes. But then you can also go for the pay-per-use. We are currently updating our website with the pay-per-use pricing list. As you will see, the pricing is super competitive. Do not hesitate to contact us for more information. For the federated offer, one important aspect is that entities are able to share their data catalogs, to be labeled as WEkEO, and to also extend the user community to the entire user community. Just a few words on the WEkEO support. I will show you on the website where you can find all the documentation about the different services and APIs, the tutorials. We have a YouTube channel with very detailed tutorials and also tutorials by thematics with specific operations to transform OLCI data or to perform validation or calibration, or you will see very detailed videos that we will not be going through them today, but they can be very useful. And also the user support that is available at support@wekeo.eu, and that will answer you immediately. The way that it works for the user support is that we have a first level support that is then distributed among the second level experts for every subsystem or sub-theme, like specific data or the cloud resources, or if it is about the website, so that all the experts participate in this user support. And then the training activities. Stay tuned for the next online trainings and webinars, and you can have a look at the past events that are all available in the YouTube channel. So this is it for the first overview of WEkEO. So this is the WEkEO website, and right now I am not signed in. So this is what you will see when you get to the WEkEO website at first. You have, as I was saying here, documentation, the guide and the references, the pricing, and the registry that Amine will talk about. But I want to go now to the data. You go to data, you will see a graphical user interface with a few tools here to locate a point, to measure, to set an area of interest. You have here a vertical axis with the depth in this case, and a horizontal axis with the time span for the different products that you will visualize. If you open the menu and you click on the plus sign on the layers, well, first of all, these two are default layers that are showing, and they can change based on the use that you make of this data discovery platform. If you click on the plus sign, you will see the entire catalog of the WEkEO datasets that is updated. It's real-time, updated in real time. You can use these facets, so see all the climate datasets, or if I want to see all the CMEMS data sets, but only on the Baltic Sea, or if you want to see the different Sentinel data, past or future data, the different tags, the originating center. So you can, for instance, click on the EUMETSAT and click on favorite. If you want to add the favorite tag, you will be asked to sign in WEkEO. You sign in and you go back to the place where you were. And I have now clicked a couple of data sets as favorites. And when I go to my favorites, I can always see them. This is kept for you, and it is quite useful. So let's have a look. Here's the catalog. We will come back to this. Let's have a look at the original graphical user interface. You can, the first symbol here is for the download. When you click on the download, we are connecting to the actual data provider and center. We are loading the layer metadata, and we will be able to, if the data provider center is online and working. If not, the graphical user interface will tell us, but the performance is great. There's usually no problems at that level. So the subsetter is to actually set an AOI, an area of interest, and of the time that you want to download something, and download this subset of the data. Instead of the global 10 daily live area, I'm going to try with the seawater velocity because it has more subsetter options. The subsetter options are defined or predefined by the originating center, not from WEkEO. So if this is a data set that is produced, in this case, by CMEMS Marine, everything that you will see here is compliant with CMEMS Marine, and this works for all the different services. So I copy the AOI from the map, and I can also copy the timeline. That is, in this case, is 1 day, but I can change it. Okay, and then I can put the start depth and the end depth and agree. And show the API request. This is the request for a job that you can copy paste into your machine, into your code, into your MATLAB, your Python, your Jupyter Notebook, whatever you are using for your application to access this actual data. So you will see here that the area of interest is as defined, the start and the end is as defined, the variables as well, okay? And the name of the data set as well. This is always super useful to check on what you are doing. I want to see, I can see another layer of this data set by clicking on another variable of this data set. And I can also check, for instance, the vectorial information of this data set. Let me go in with the zoom. To see, and if I go on the vertical axis, for instance, I can see very quickly visually the information that is contained in this data. Okay, and I can also change in date. Okay, let's look at another data set, the Sentinel one. We can add it to the map. Here you will see EODC. This is a federated entity, for instance. This is an example of what we were saying before. So I will add these are urban to the map. And using again the AOI, I'm going to launch a job for the GRD in this case. You see that you have the different product types. I'm going to request the data in this case. This request was sent successfully. I want to monitor the request. I hope it's not too large. Maybe I made it a bit too large. I can see the API request, the same thing that we did before. And once this is done, you will see the different images available for this AOI and this time. And sometimes you will see, so in this case, Sentinel-1A and Sentinel-1B can be available. And you click on the one that you want, and then you download it directly from here. And you will have all the information in the jobs. And I think this is it on my side. We can go back to the screen later, or you can try while we continue with the presentation, and then make questions, and we will answer you at the end. So, Amine, if you can take the floor.
So thank you, Laia. I will share my screen. Okay, so my name is Amine El Amrani, and I am part of the WEkEO user support, as was presented by Laia. The WEkEO user support is a free service of WEkEO, where any question related to WEkEO can be asked at support@wekeo.eu, support@wekeo.eu. So we have a panel of experts that are available through an efficient internal tool that we have, and these questions can be IT, scientific subjects, or also incidents related to the use of WEkEO services. So I'm going to do a brief presentation of the IT infrastructure of WEkEO, which consists of two main services, the Jupyter environment on the one hand and the virtual machine on the other hand. But first of all, how to register to WEkEO. So to register, we need to click on the register button of the upper banner of WEkEO.eu, WEkEO.eu website, and enter all the required information. And then you can start using WEkEO right away after clicking the Create WEkEO account and accepting the WEkEO general terms and conditions. So the subscription plan, the normal one, is the essential, but you can also have the advanced plan, which is paying, but I will talk about it later. So let's start with the Jupyter notebook. So I will sign in to WEkEO because I already have an account. And then when you sign in, all you have to do to access the Jupyter notebook is to click on Dashboard, then Jupyter Hub here. So what is Jupyter Notebook? What is the Jupyter Hub? It is an open access source web app that you can use to create, share documents that contain live code, equations, visualizations, and text. And this is the welcome page of the WEkEO Jupyter environment, so to speak. You can have access to a classic Python interpreter here, or to a terminal prompt. So the Jupyter environment is some kind of a small virtual machine environment after all, but where you can create documents from scratch or play an existing file, which is massively done on the WEkEO webinars and trainings. So the Jupyter is a very useful teaching tool, as code is associated to text and images, and the typical Jupyter notebook will be the WEkEO Harmonized Data Access API document that you can find on the folder public WEkEO HDA. This is available for everyone who creates a WEkEO account, and it is free of charge. So this typical Jupyter notebook, as you can see, it contains images. It contains also these code cells, which can be run exactly the same way as if you were on a Python interpreter. And you have also plain and augmented texts. So the outcomes and results of the code running are actually shown on the document itself. Graphs also, if you have a graph drawn by a Python library, it will be shown directly on your Jupyter notebook document. And these documents can be exported afterwards to a PDF or to pure Python code. You can keep only the Python code, and there is an option for it to do it, and to use this Python code elsewhere. Mingling with these documents will make you comfortable with the Jupyter environment in a matter of hours. And you have many of these documents used on the webinars and trainings that you can find on the respective folders here. So let's talk about the virtual machine now, the second service, the IT service of WEkEO. So some of you would ask, why would we need a virtual machine? After all, isn't the Jupyter environment enough? But the thing is, Jupyter notebook environment has limits. It's not meant for long and heavy processing. The storage capacity is limited. CPU and memory are also limited. So if you want to perform some heavy processing, consider switching to one of our virtual machines. How to request a virtual machine? So you have to go on dashboard again and click the upgrade plan button at the end of the page. So here you can choose the configuration that corresponds to your need, as was shown by Laia before, on this plan size button here. So you have many t-shirt size, as we call it on WEkEO, and you have to tell us a little bit about the intended use of the platform, the Copernicus data that will be needed, and you have a small table at the end with the prices for each configuration, but we have more details on this pricing section here. So all of this was shown by Laia, but I will talk about it a little bit more. So for each plan, you have a combination of configurations. So you can choose whether one of the proposed plans, or if none of these plans suit your needs, you can ask for what we call a custom plan, where you can choose your own combination of CPU, memory, storage capacity, maybe more public IPs, maybe less GPU. It depends on your needs, and you can request your customized resources by sending us an email to support@wekeo.eu, and that's it. Let's talk about the trial periods also. So you can see that we have trial periods that are given for each plan. So you need to know that these are just indicators. They can be actually negotiated on a case-by-case basis with the support. So by sending a message to the support@wekeo.eu, we will put you in contact with the commercial department of WEkEO and decide on the extension of this trial period, if it is justified, of course. So once this resource is made available for you, we advise you to follow the guides they can find here. So when you follow these guides, it's a bit heavy, but it's simple if you follow all the lines, and you will be able to create instances of your virtual machine by following this. Afterwards, you will mainly organize your resources via the Morpheus interface by clicking Dashboard and Virtual Machines here. So if you have a virtual machine that was assigned, you will have access to this Morpheus interface, and that will allow you to manage your instances of the virtual machine. So once done, you will be able to download and process your data as if you were on your own personal computer, yet with tremendous computing capacity and high-speed access to WEkEO data, depending on the plan that you have chosen. So if you have any questions, I will refer you to webinar number 3, available on the WEkEO YouTube channel, where there is a demo on how to download WEkEO data on your Jupyter Hub or on your virtual machine using the Harmonized Data Access API that was presented by Laia.